Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be going over how to fill out your ECF Form 472. I want to congratulate you all for successfully filing your Form 471 in ECF. We know it was an interesting time for all of us. A lot of you applied for quite a bit of money in this state this year. This is for funding year 21. In the first window, we filed for over $135 million worth of equipment and services. During the second window, we asked for another 20 million. So kudos to all of you for getting through that, getting your quotes, figuring out what your students needed, um, and really just getting it done. So you've received your FCDL. The first wave came through in September. The second wave just came through in mid-October, and we're hoping that they continue this process. So in order to get to your Form 472, you need to log into Epic as you do for E-rate. You're going to go through your MFA, enter in, the little code that is going to be sent to you either, via text message or email. The bottom portion of the middle of the screen will have the paragraph to choose ECF, and this is going to bring you to your dashboard. You'll see at your dashboard it's going to have your BEN number, your BEN name, city, state, what type of entity you are, if you're a school or a school district. You're going to choose the Actions button on the right-hand side, and you'll get a little drop-down that allows you to file your ECF FCC Form 472 or BEAR. For those of you that were able to get your vendors to do the SPY billing on your behalf, you will not be filing this form. Your vendors will be filing it on your behalf. They'll file the 474, which was available to them earlier than this form was available to you guys. So once you've started that you want to file your Form 472, it's going to ask for a nickname, similar to every application you've dealt with within E-rate and even with the ECF program. We recommend that you put your full school name, use ECF in there, so that way when we're looking through all the Form 472s, if they actually combine the two databases down the line, we'll know which one's which. You can put in there W1 for window 1 if you filed in window 2, W2, and the funding year. In the event the FCC continues this program next year, it'll help to differentiate what applications were for which year. Then you would click Save and Continue. The next line, very simple. You want to add a reimbursement line. Similar to when you did the 471, you were adding an FRN line. Now you're going to add a reimbursement line. What the system now is going to do is pretty much load up all of your Form 471s, all the applications you may have had, your larger school districts. You guys were putting in for Chromebooks, for laptops, for iPads, for hotspots, for the service on hotspots. You may have been putting in for bus routers and then the service for those routers. So you might have a whole list. And right now, maybe you just want to put in for your Chromebooks. So you have search tools available. You can choose application number to put in if you know that, your funding request number if you know that, the service type, if it's equipment or service, the FRN nickname. So you may have had, student Chromebooks, something to that effect. Once you have chosen what your search criteria will be, you will have a window similar to this showing all of your different applications. We've had to take portions of screens that the FCC has made available to us for this presentation because, as Roxy and I have been joking all along, they're pretty much building the plane while we're in it. So I hope you know how to pack a parachute because we're in this ankle deep head first. So this is a bit better screen to see all the information that you may be choosing from to choose which application you're seeking reimbursement for at this time. The bottom of the screen will have these additional fields. The first one you choose is billing frequency. So your billing frequency could be that this was based on delivery. So you've got 2,000 Chromebooks that you've ordered. You only have room for 500 at a time in your office. So this might just be billing frequency on delivery. This could be a frequency of a one-time. So you're just going to bill for part of that large purchase, that funding request. This could be similar to Khajiit. They bill annually for their service, and unfortunately, they bill in advance. Um, and we still have to get back to you guys on how that's being managed. We see this as a national issue with Khajiit because USAC does not allow you to bill in advance. You can put in for your billing reimbursement after you've received your services. Service is a tough one because you can't ask for the money in advance, obviously, because you can cancel the service. If Billy moves out of your district and you return that hotspot, if you've billed USAC for the service on that hotspot for the entire year, you now have to get the money back to them because Billy's returned his hotspot because he's moved out of the district, and now you're sitting there with a prepaid, and that's not legal. Um, Other options obviously are here, but I believe most of you folks are going to be dealing with monthly, one time, or potentially annually. So once you've chosen one of those options, you'll then move on to the next field, which is a requested reimbursement amount. 2,000 Chromebooks. You only took delivery of 1,000 or 500 or whatnot. You can put in for just that portion of the bill. If you are seeking what we've been calling pre-reimbursement or pre-reimbursement, you can upload a purchase order and a packing slip because you don't have the invoice yet. If you have been billed already, a lot of you folks, already needed to buy this equipment in July. You received it, you've paid for it, you distributed it to your students in August when school started. You can obviously upload the invoice. Just keep in mind, all of this documentation needs to be kept, and you're going to need it all anyway for this process. So just consider that you've got all these things in front of you while you're trying to file this application. If you try to file for more than is left in your funding request, so let's go back to the 2,000 Chromebooks. You file for 1,000 of those Chromebooks right now because they've already come in. Another 500 of them come in next month. But your purchase order to the vendor may have been for 2,500. But at the time, you only filed for the 2,000. You weren't aware. Jimmy brought back his Chromebook in a Ziploc bag in pieces, and so you had ordered a bunch of extras. You just have to watch. You can't ask for more. Another example, folks that needed to buy like iPads or laptops for teachers or students, and they came with $1,000 price tags. Your purchase order is going to be for the $1,000 to your vendor, but you can only ask for the reimbursement up to the $400 per item. Do not try to put in, three $400 amounts to pay for a single laptop. USAC will figure that out. And I'm not saying that you all will. Folks just they don't think. They just, oh yeah, I only got one laptop. Let me put that in for 1,200. Yeah, it's under the reimbursement amount, but the audit process is just going to be ugly. So just keep an eye out for this reimbursement amount. You will get a little note. You will not be able to go any further on the screen if it's above that, what's left. Your next option there is going to be either your customer bill date or your delivery date. So for service, you get billed probably the first of the month for the service coming up, just like your cell phone at home. You'd put your customer bill date. It could be July 1st, August 1st, October 22nd, whatever it might be. Or delivery date. Again, if you're looking for reimbursement prior to paying your vendor, you can put in a delivery date. So as long as that information is after July 1st, you can do that. And the calendar will give you the option so that you'll be able to see what your putting in there for a date. The next piece is if you are in fact seeking reimbursement prior to paying your vendor, this is where you would click the little Y. When you click that little Y, that little box underneath it that says applicants must pay their service provider within 30 days after receipt of funds and will be required to certify compliance and provide verification of this payment to the service provider. So yes, you can request the money in advance. Listen, you guys, are either putting out a lot of money, we know budgets are tight and all those things. You will be asked by USAC. They will email you, or I'm pretty sure it's going to be an email process. Listen, send us proof that you paid your vendor because we sent you the money. And you'll have 30 days from receipt of the funds. And these are going to be ECF transfers. This is why you all had to have your 498s filed. You had to have SAM.gov registration and all those things because that government is sending you this money. All right, so just keep that in mind. Once you've chosen, my English is almost there, either the Y or the N, you will then be brought to, and there'll be a save and continue. You'll then be brought to the certifications page. We've just expanded this one so that you could read this more clearly. It's obviously cut off on the side. There are 12 of these certifications. You need to read them all, understand them all, and also click them all off. Yes, you're authorized to submit this request. You're not reselling this stuff. This is, strictly for education. You're not giving it to, I don't know, the business down the street. This is why we cut and paste as a smaller version. You'll see all 12 of them there. Check them all off. Once you've checked them all off, you'll have the option to actually certify this application, and you'll get the ever popular little pop-up. By clicking certify, you've electronically signed this. Your electronic signature is the same as a handwritten one that's on the form. Ta-da! You've hit certify. Congratulations. You will be presented with a screen that should have a hot link that will allow you to download that version of your 472. There should be an email that is generated by Epic that has that same link to get to your Form 472. We've put together, this little document that has some additional resources available. If you want to, print it out and have it next to you while you're filling out your 472 or the slideshow, listen to our wonderful little video. The 472 walkthrough is from the FCC. It's really just a run-on sentence, if you will, of verbiage, screenshot, verbiage, screenshot, verbiage, screenshot, and the screenshots are small. We haven't found any way of expanding them very well. And their e-learning module is an actual video, and the gentleman speaks in a single monotone voice. This is your FCC Form 472 e-learning module. Not the best, I have to tell you. Additional resources, and of course, we're always here for you. So if you have any questions, reach out to Roxy and I. We'll be more than able and willing to, watch you through the process, answer the questions you might have of your specific situations. You guys all got this far. It's a fantastic space, doing great things, throughout the state. We are bringing on a new person. Adam will be with us, and he'll figure it out too. It's not a problem. He's got E-rate under control. ECF isn't really much different. We do have a fourth chair open, which we'll be filling shortly. On our webpage, there is a whole section under resources for ECF. So this presentation, along with the slide deck, will be moved to that space as more information is made available to us directly from the FCC, from USAC, Whatever we can glean from our national groups that we belong to, that we hash all this stuff out with, so that we're all going in the same direction. We will share with you as well. So if that's all we've got for today, we're going to close up this little presentation. Thank you all for attending. Have a great day.